we can get both.
We're good to go.
I'd like to call this meeting of the Princeton City Council to order. Clerk call the roll.
Mayor Mabry.
Here.
Councilmember Newman.
Here.
Gomez.
Here.
McCall.
Here.
McCransky.
Here.
Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and go to public comment period. Public comment period is at the beginning as well as at the end of the meeting. I'd like to have you limit your discussion to 3 minutes if possible. Is there anyone here for public comment? Otherwise, we'll let you have a chance at the end of the meeting. Very good. Okay, we'll go ahead now and approve the minutes, please, from the other council meeting from November 18th.
Okay. I move that we approve the minutes from our regular council meeting on November 18th, 2024.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any questions or comments about those minutes?
No.
Seeing none, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
McCransky.
Here.
And Mayor Mabry.
Aye, thank you. Now we'll go to the invoices, please, with City Clerk Janet Penny.
In the Department of Accounts and Finances, we have $82,431.72. In the Department of Streets and Public Improvement, $56,856.01. In the Department of Public Safety, $126,801.12. And in the Department of Public Property and Utilities, $440,573.87, with a grand total of $706,662.72. Mayor, all council members present have confirmed their reviews of all invoices, and they're now submitted for disposition.
Thank you.
I move that we approve the invoices as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the invoices. Are there any questions or comments about those invoices? Seeing none, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
McCransky.
Aye.
And Mayor Mabry.
Aye. Thank you. Now we're on to the ordinance, please.
Next on the agenda is ordinance O-24-022, levying of taxes for corporate purposes for the fiscal year commencing on the first day of May 2025 and ending on the 30th day of April 2026 for the city of Princeton, Bureau County, Illinois. The first reading.
I move that we advance the ordinance O-24-022.
Second.
Motion and second. We could. We'll have Teresa just expand on this, if you would, please.
Sure. 'Tis the season. Getting ready for budget time, so I'll walk you through this real quick. Good thing is there's no major adjustments to what we saw last year. I'm anticipating building the next budget on pretty much this, consistent with this year's budget with a little bit of an increase, nothing major. Some of our debt will be falling off, so that'll help free up some of it. So what we're looking at here, I gave you the spreadsheet, and this is, sorry, it's going to be, might cross your eyes a little bit, but you have last year's levy, and then on the right side you have what's being proposed for this year. So you can see how the increases have went up. The good news is, one, we're under the 5% increase, which would push you into a truth and taxation hearing. Secondly, if you look down that bottom box, I highlighted it down there for you. The city's portion of your property tax bill actually goes down by 4.9%. So last year it was similar in nature, and the reason why we are able to do that is if you go up to the top, you can see our EAV, your assessed value for your property, is actually increased by 10.35%, so that should be highlighted on your sheet as well. We had an increase, that totals an increase of a little over $17.5 million in our EAV. So what we're able to do is your EAV is going to go up, you're able to collect more based on what that percent is, so your percent doesn't need to be quite as high, if that makes sense. Any questions on it? Okay. I also, did I highlight on yours? No, I didn't. Under the police and fire pension, We do go based on the actuarials that are done for each of those pensions. So those are being funded near the actuarial advice on those. So with those given, each of those are about a 10% increase from the year before. And at this point, the fire will be funded at about a 56% rate, and the police are at about a 63% fully funded. So if you remember from our audit, that was a comfortable range that they told us. So as long as we stick with that and don't back away for a couple of years, that'll get into some trouble. So the library's levy is down there as well. They try to keep it within the range. I will note the library bond, which is at about 154.5. The next budget, which will be fiscal year 26, which sounds strange, will be their last payment on that debt. So it'll be nice to see that fall away. With everything being said here, I'm fairly comfortable with the levy that is presented to you guys, based on things being fairly stable from the previous year to last year to this year in terms of sales tax. It's not spiking quite like it did during COVID, but it has stayed fairly steady with a small increase. And with the debt falling off, that does help with our budget. We are blessed with our levy not having to go over that 5% because of our sales tax. Our sales tax, as we've talked with other communities recently and sharing budgets and stuff, is our sales tax is healthy enough to offset some of those costs. So keep shopping at Princeton. So any questions on this?
So is the EAV, the increase, is that just general property?
Mm-hmm. So as properties are sold, and we could try to speak to this more in depth, but as properties are sold, the values are increased.
Evaluation with also with modifications or improvements, it always is the property values that associated with it.
It's a good thing and a bad thing sometimes.
And that's something one reason why a lot of owners sometimes don't finish their remodeling or anything else because they don't want to get a small evaluation with the taxes. And as they're selling it, then they'll go ahead and finish it off and then have the next person take care of it.
So our Princeton Township tax assessor, who works out of the county, I don't want to call them the bad guys, but if you got your tax bill and looked over closely, most of my tax bills went up 6 to 7%, and so that's where we're subsidizing the increase at. Which I'm not saying it's wrong. We're going to get it one way or the other. So let the county do the heavy lifting on that, and we stand fast on where we're at. So that's good. We didn't take it on both ends, at least.
No.
Okay, very good. Any other questions? Okay, very good. We're ready then for
Marion Street? Is that on here?
Oh, that's under my report.
Oh. Okay.
Do you have a vote?
Yeah, we have to vote on
that's good. We're going to vote. Good. Okay, no further questions concerning that ordinance, and clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
McCransky.
Aye.
And Mayor Mabry.
Aye. Now we're on to the city manager report, please.
Now on to Marion. Everybody knows Marion Street has been tore up for a couple months now, replacing the sanitary sewer that's there. And now you'll see the street will kind of remain looking like it's under construction, so that can be repaved until we do the storm sewer project. The reason that we can't do these simultaneously is because the sanitary sewer was a grant funded project. The next portion of it is not grant funded, so you have to keep them completely separate. So on the agenda there, you have a notice of invitation for a bid has been released. So sealed bids will be received by the City of Princeton for Marion Street storm sewer replacement, and is further described as follows: installation of 1,262 linear feet of 12-inch RCP storm sewer, along with 19 storm inlets, HMA trench repair, driveway and sidewalk repairs. So bids will be submitted no later than 10 a.m. to the office of the city clerk here at City Hall on Tuesday at December 10th. and proposals will be opened and publicly read at that time. Any plans or specifications can be accessed at www.chamlin.com. We do have a set downstairs for public too if they would like to see it. So it'd be great to get that project done. What we're planning to do is taking some of the portion of what we had contributed as a city towards the depot project and using that towards this project. So the timing of that depot project being under budget and this one coming up was good. So any questions on that? Once that project is done, then they'll actually do the paving of that street. So
Did you get bids on the depot landscaping project?
Those have just been collected and we're due this weekend, so we'll be going through those and reviewing them. Yep. We did get a few. The only other thing I want to mention is on the table over there is the brochures for, Tori wanted me to make mention, and you all got a copy too, of the Christmas Time for Princeton brochure. And if Jenica wants to talk about it, I'll let her talk about it. But inside is the schedule, so if you need the schedule. She did want me to mention that they are still accepting vendor applications for the vendor event that is on December 14th. And I'll display the new coffee mugs that are going to be for sale at the market, kind of like the Chris Kindle market. So look for that. It should be a
coffee in there now?
I have water. That was why I was being careful here. So if you know a really good vendor of that nature, put them in touch with Tori, Jenica, or Jason Sullivan. So.
Anything else, Teresa?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, a couple things then. With Teresa talking about the Marion Street project, I had 8 years on the council before I went off for 2 years, but Pete would be able to tell you that anytime we had heavy rains, that poor Marion Street area always had problems with neighbors having flooding in their basements, and we not only had sanitary sewer backup, we had flooding, and we walked that street about a year ago, and there was very few inlets. So this proposal shows 19 inlets, and I think right now there's like 4 inlets down there in that whole area. So that poor street has had a history of it was poorly designed, say 100 years ago for drainage, and so that's a great win-win for everybody on that street. So and for long term, for the city of Princeton, we'll have a lot less people on that street concerned about water issues. So good for you on that. Let's see. What we're going to do is we have 2 things we're going to discuss here. If I could, on our marriage report, we're going to go ahead and start with Jenica, if you don't mind, and talk about working with Victoria, what is going on, please. Sure. And then a little elaboration on this beautiful mug here. I do see. Okay, I do. Yeah. I don't want to baptize anybody. But if I could, then also mention Midland Stakes Banks is a heavy lifter on that. Is that correct? They came through with.
Yeah.
So I'll let you visit about that, please.
Yep. Hi, everyone. So we've gotten through a lot of fun things. So Christmas Walk weekend, if you were here 2 weekends ago, it was so busy in town again. It was an amazing weekend. This last weekend was Small Business Saturday, which was an ode to our retailers to getting people to shop local. But I think the frigid cold temperatures put a damper on everybody wanting to be out. We had some shopping happening, which was great, but there just wasn't as much going on in town because of the cold. So this weekend, we have kind of all of the family festivities in town. So Friday night kicks off with a tree lighting across the street at Veterans Park. That's at 5:45. And then the second annual Lighted Christmas Parade with the Princeton Lions Club starts at 6:15 from City Hall. And then the Chamber's annual Candy Cane Hunt at 7 p.m. at Soldiers and Sailors. And then afterwards, we're actually going to do visits with Santa and Mrs. Claus, and there will be live reindeer. We are going to talk a little bit about where that might take place, because with the frigid temps and witnessing what we saw last weekend, we might try to make sure some of that's like indoors so that the families can enjoy and not be stuck in the cold. So we're going to work that out, and that announcement will be finalized by morning. And then Saturday is the Princeton Lions Club, the Bureau County Food Pantry, the Chamber, the Moose Lodge, Lynn Olds, the administrator over at Greenfield. We all help and host the Santa's Workshop at the Bureau County Fairgrounds from 10 to noon. It's totally free to anyone who comes. Each kid gets a goodie bag. And there will be tons of craft stations. The Mistletoe Misfits will perform. We'll have Christmas music. Santa and Mrs. Claus will be there. All free. We're serving a light breakfast of Miss Betsy's donuts, and then we're going to have lunch. So totally free. I shouldn't have said that out loud. We won't have enough donuts. So it's going to be a super fun weekend. And then I need to mention, also on Saturday, we do the special showing of a Christmas classic. We have to change it up due to Walt Disney. We can't show Home Alone, so we're going to show National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Disney wouldn't give us permission this year to show Home Alone at Apollo, but we want to thank Mr. Kleinfelter and his wife, who is a resident firefighter, for sponsoring that this year. So that will be fun. And then on Sunday at 2 p.m., the Bureau County Chorus and the Community Band will perform at PHS. So that's always a fun time of the year. I should also mention that the Christmas lights at the fairgrounds have started. We kicked that off on Black Friday. We saw really great traffic Saturday night. It was a little bit slower the other nights, but again, first weekend cold with the holiday. We have over a dozen new displays, and you will want to check this year's out because Allegiant has added to their display with a 21-foot light. So I did want to formally thank the Princeton Electrical Department came out with a bucket truck, because putting up a 21-foot Christmas light is not just pulling up a ladder in the wind and setting that baby up. So please come out and see. That is open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday through the 22nd, and then we also will be open Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Final day will be Christmas Day night. So 5 to 9 every night except Sundays 5 to 8. And then on the 14th is the Christmas market, and I think that was the brainchild of Jason Sullivan, who was a chamber ambassador, but he works for Midland States Bank. He's very active in the community as a volunteer, and Corey were working on that. So we hope that will bring something to the North Main district, and hopefully the frigid temps go away and we can resume life. But you know, it's winter in Illinois, so we'll all manage, right? Did I forget anything? Elf on the Shelf hunt. That's still going on. The chamber does that every year. Hefty Seed sponsored that. There are always 4 elves hidden on South Main and 4 on North Main. Families are out looking for them. We've already gotten many entries back. There is one that is actually a little more hidden than normal, so I've been getting a lot of phone calls and text messages. But you can be entered to win chamber gift cards. So lots of fun going on this time of year. Great. Did I miss anything?
Yes. Golf cart.
Golf cart raffle? Sorry, we're still trying to sell the tickets. The Chamber forewent our annual fundraiser because of all the other fundraisers we didn't want to compete. So we decided to work with McNabb Motorsports, who's a Chamber member, to raffle off a very nice golf cart because of the city's new ordinance. We have 400 tickets to sell. We've sold just over 200. So we're going to try to sell them all, but no matter what, we're going to draw the winning ticket at our annual meeting in April. So everybody that's already purchased, I have them. I'm not doing anything with them. We're just waiting to sell the tickets. Be patient.
Very good.
Hector, you can buy 10 more if you'd like.
What's the cost of them?
$50 each.
So just 10?
But that supports all the chamber does. So it's a worthy cause.
Jenica, thank you very much. Before we leave this discussion here, I want to make sure the council understands the collaboration we've got going with the Princeton Tourism, which is our own Victoria Yepson, and the Chamber of Commerce, Jennifer Cole. And as we work on our new budget coming up in 2025, that we want to make sure we work on funding the chamber. We appreciate the cooperation again between these two ladies doing an excellent job working together and bringing people to our community. I went and toured the fairgrounds the other night for the Festival of Lights, and holy smokes, that the Allegiant LCN display is very impressive, very impressive. So you'll enjoy seeing that. So again, kudos to the ladies that do all the legwork here, to Jenica and to Victoria. We appreciate that. And we appreciate people like our organizations like the Princeton or the Bureau County Fairgrounds. Look at all the collaboration they've had with us this past 4 weeks on things and continue to have. So we appreciate the fairgrounds, what they do. With that all said, I'd like to just bring up one issue that we've been working on. Tom Cameron's been working with the unhoused in Princeton. There's been a lot of behind the scenes, so to speak, work being done with Aruka, with the Princeton Ministerial Association. And I wanted Tom just to give a quick update on how we're looking with that unhoused, and because I think we've made some big strides with your department. So if you would please, Tom.
Sure. So we've had a meeting that's been going on now for several months. You've been part of those with the Ministerial Association and ARUCA, trying to come up with solutions for a pretty significant unhoused population that we've had here in town for better than a year. And throughout the summer, we had really high numbers. Spent a lot of time working on getting people connected with housing, with employment. Some of them need treatment, whatever the case may be. We had a lot of staff from ARUCA out there in the community working with us to do that. Now, last winter, I think ARUCA housed 37 people throughout the winter, all at their expense, and this year we're just not able to afford to do that. So we've started getting people trained up to staff a warming center, so volunteers that would do that. And last 2 Saturdays ago, we had a 8-hour training class at Covenant Church. It was very well attended. I think 28 folks from the community of all ages came in to be part of that. Training ranged from how to deal with folks in mental health crises all the way to just the words that you use, and some of the other things that if you were going to volunteer in this place, you would need to know. Even some self-defense stuff taught by one of our sheriff's deputies who teaches martial arts. And the feedback I've gotten has been very positive so far. People felt more comfortable volunteering their time if we do open up a warming center. So the next steps there are going to be plates. I know we're looking at a couple of locations for that. And are we going to have any takers? And so I talked to you earlier today, Mayor, about this. I came in early this morning looking, to see if we could get a better census of where we're at right now with our homeless population. And unlike the last several weeks, I've not seen any of them out and about today. And so we're working with ARUCA. Several of them come into contact with them on a regular basis. We're going to try to get an idea of how many there might be that will be seeking housing throughout the colder months. And then from there, we'll decide if we need to have a warming shelter, and if so, how big that would need to be. But that's kind of what we're working on now.
Very good. And right now, then, without jinxing anything, our numbers really do appear to be down. Tremendously down.
Yeah, there was a time when we were hovering around 50 folks that were unhoused throughout the warmer months. And a lot of them, you've seen them camping in various places. We had 2 encampments behind the hotels up north. We had one by the depot, a couple out by our cemeteries, some down under the Route 6 bridge. They were all over the place. And, we were on a daily basis dealing with that, complaints from landowners and people finding needles and things like that on their property. And I get it. If it was my property, I'd be upset as well. And so we worked with everybody that was a stakeholder in that. We're able to get all those folks somewhere other than there. We ended up getting, I believe, all the needles cleaned up from the Perfectly Flawed Foundation. They're the ones that provide those. We reached out to them and said, we can't have these things laying around, so they sent people out here to pick them up. And the last time I walked through the encampments, I didn't see nearly as many of them as what we had seen in the past.
That's good. Very good. And
you think they're moving on somewhere?
Well,
getting a job? Or
some. We've had some success with that. There's some that find places to lay their head. When it gets cold, that's usually on a pretty limited basis until there's some sort of disagreement, whether it's with family or friends. I know we had the issue at 805 North Main, which was kind of a collecting point for several of them. We have another house in town, 2 houses actually, that are starting to see a few more there that we're paying attention to. So that it doesn't turn into, another situation like 805 North Main did.
Thank you. Okay, any questions from the council concerning the unhoused situation? I would just encourage the council members that if you see somebody that, it's a tender situation, but stop and introduce yourself. Every one of these people has a name, and if they have a pet, that pet has a name. Just try to engage and get a sense of who they are. And it's not necessarily reaching in the wallet to give $10. if you can carry something with you, some food or some mittens or a stocking cap, and just give them a little encouragement. I think that would go a long ways. So, and it's not that we don't want to give them money, but we don't want the money to be abused possibly for other things. So that's all. So when we go home at night and have a nice warm bed, I do think about these unhoused people. Tom, I appreciate your explaining what's going on, and also we appreciate Aruka. And I catch some stuff as mayor, and I want to explain in a very positive way what Aruka does for the community. And they've never, ever had a needle exchange. That was something that's never been done. And so when you see those needles out there, that is not coming from Aruka. So very good. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, that's it for me on the mayor's report, and we're excited. We got one more council meeting between now and Christmas, and we're going to do some special things for Christmas. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I don't want you to show up. Anyway, Teresa is like, oh boy. If I could, then we'll go on. If there's any old business this evening for the council, is there any new business for the council? Is there any public comment? Seeing none, if you would, Jerry.
Sure. I move that we adjourn tonight's regular council meeting and reconvene for our next council meeting on Monday, December 16th, 2024, 6 o'clock at City Hall.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
McCransky.
Aye.
And Mayor Mabry.
Aye. Thank you for attending, and please stick around and talk to your council members.